Hope you don't regret it. I push a lot back, but I can't forget it. We never got the credit. Nobody seemed to hear us, but we said it. Neither of us planned it, and for a long time I took it all for granted. I really thought we had it, but at the time it was more than I could manage. So if we can leave it all behind us and meet in between, it would give me so high all the time, high all the time. I wanna be high all the time. Would you come with me? Wish I didn't doubt it. I wish I never ever told you all about it. But I just had to let you know I never meant to hurt you though. I had all my motives. I didn't know they wouldn't mix with your emotions. I just had to reach my goals. Never knew I'd meet you though. So if we can agree to disagree and keep on reaching, it will give you some high all the time, high all the time. I wanna be high all the time. Would you come with me? High all the time, high all the time. I wanna be high all the time. Would you come with me? Let's stay together. You're my best friend. I'll love you forever. Doesn't matter if I'm never rich or famous. If you can, just let me know if it's okay to call you lonely. Something in the way she moves. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I said it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it
All right, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. Happy New Year. Still kind of what's up, what's up. All right, let's get into it. Guys, we have a lot, honestly. Like, this month is going to be absolutely epic. There is a lot of volatility here. I'm going to go into a couple things before it's going to take like 2 seconds. But I want to break down a couple things before we dive into the markets, just so we kind of have a good breakdown. Like, where are we in the markets? What is going on? You know, oil, Trump, Venezuela, China, Russia, what's happening, New Year. So let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. I see. Oh, we got a good crowd going here. What's up, Harshi, Corey, Steve, Vaughn, Daniel? Buenos días, ¿cómo están, chicos? Todos por aquí. Brandon, Cesar, Lonzo, what's good? Hema, FD. I see some new usernames. Sick. What's up, yo? ¿Cómo están? Diego, Jose, Ruben. We got Jay in here. Aidar, Johnny. Hey, we got to make the adjustments, man. Happy Monday. Recalibrated, realign, ready for it. I love it. Let's go. Edwin, Seth, Kai, Joe. All right. Yeah. Awesome. NQ Cell. I'm going to go into that. I do see what you're seeing. Definitely. Taylor, what's up? Jocelyn, Greg, Jose Alejandro Rizzo Porras. What's up, man? ¿Cómo estás? Daniel B. Oil setting up for buys. There's some buys in there. There might be a sell too. What's up, Reggie? Higher Self Activator. Sweet name. Texas, Isaid, Isaac. All right, cool. So we're going to dive into that. I'm not going to take too long to break down what I want to break down for you guys. So let's do it. All right. So let's talk about, I sent a newsletter out yesterday. If you didn't get it, I think in the description, you can find the link to the newsletter. Otherwise, I usually post it in our community anyways. So there's a free school community. If you guys aren't in there, make sure you get in there. There's always like QR codes, I think, going through here on the stream for like resources and things like that. So take advantage of that. But anyways, let's zoom out, right? We have Venezuela, oil, what's going to happen with the markets. And you guys probably already saw this. The markets have been pretty busy. But the main things are this, right? Okay, Venezuela has 303 billion barrels of oil. Oil right now is sitting around 57 and change, 58. That adds up to around $17 trillion worth of oil. The U.S. just gained control over it overnight. But what does that really mean? So, yes, the reserves are very much real, but obviously it's not liquidatable money instantly. So, yes, the Venezuela has a massive, massive reserve number, but that's oil in the ground. So it's not like we can just they can't just produce it instantly. It has to be transported, refined, insured. So and Venezuela's industry is pretty underdeveloped and mismanaged for a long time. So yeah, sure, $17 trillion is accessible now, but it's not really like injected into the market instantly. So the market really cares about the flow of oil, not just like what it has access to. And you guys know, like, these are always things that are headlines. These are always narrative driven. So it's just to create emotion, energy, excuses in the market to move things around. So oil moves because of production, exports, shipping routes, etc. So once it starts flowing, that's going to be a bit different. But the big thing too is just isn't just Venezuela as a story. It's like literally a global power structure is willing to play offense. So whether you love it or hate it, I mean, the market price is one thing. Immediately, it's like, okay, there's risk on the table now, and when there's risk on the table, things start to get repriced in general. So right, I mentioned this off the open. I expected to push down, and then now we're ripping. Things are going to keep being volatile, especially with New York open here in 5 minutes. So there's a lot that is going to be happening. Overall, metals and crypto are definitely in the play too, because obviously when there's more risk on the table, money tends to go towards metal, specifically gold. Gold is like the oldest. The world is getting unstable type of hedge. So yeah, we're going to see more of that, gold and silver. And then Bitcoin too. And the reason, and we already saw a lot of this. It happened very fast. But all right, people want Bitcoin because it's an asset that's harder to control, harder to censor, and harder to seize. So with Trump and the U.S. just capturing a foreign nation's dictator, and the oil overnight, not really a good thing. Like, what did that happen to you? So the Bitcoin narrative, I think it's a bit stronger too. And then with the dollar, obviously having access to energy is massive leverage. So this can support the dollar over time. So I could see us having something macro-wise there. So basically, big things. Definitely have a big focus on oil, metals, and crypto. Obviously, we're going to keep volatility with the stock market too. So basically, it's going to be fun. Keep it simple. Watch oil at the open right now. We'll look at metals as well, and then we'll see how prices move. There's setups happening, so let's dive into the setups now. Now, I'm going to focus first on oil because I do see a quick setup here. It's very, very close. So check this out. There's kind of two ideas that I have here. First idea, first sell. We have a nice sweep to the upside, some consolidation, and then a continuation to the downside. So I do see a potential sell opportunity over here with oil, specifically like 58.20, right around here. We've seen some resistance in the past. So yeah, I think we can see some pretty good trading out of the market, like right here, specifically, yeah, like 58.20. So this is a setup I'm looking for, and it may or may not happen like right off the open. So I'm definitely cool with a sell like this right around here. TP would not be here though. This we're looking at maybe taking it to like right over here. And then with that being said, this might be turning into a buy scenario as well, where we have the market here swept the lows, cleared tons of liquidity, rallied. So we might be looking at buy scenarios in here just as much. So we'll kind of see how we work our way down. We see a massive sweep of liquidity here. If you guys take a look at this, you have it clearing out Sunday's open, Friday's New York session, sweeping liquidity here, trading into an imbalance from December 19th. So really clean move before the continuation. The market's been trading above these highs here for the last 2 hours or so. So, yeah, we could have a little bit of both here. When I marked this up last week, we had I can show you. I'm looking at exactly where money came in to sweep the highs. So we see from right here, from like 58.12, the market pump before it starts to turn around. So right around here is where I like an idea for oil. So that's like 90 seconds away. All right. 90 seconds here. Nice clear sweep of liquidity. You can see a reversal out of there. So that's what I see so far on oil. Now, metals have been really bullish, but I'll get into that later. I know with New York Open, I want us to be ready for indices as well. And that brings us to this. So, you know, NASDAQ, Dow, everything's been really bullish. Dow just swept all of this London session liquidity, traded up into a higher range. So Dow might be flipping its price action a bit more bearish here. It's like holding this down while you have NQ still pushing even higher. So I'm curious on NASDAQ for shorts here. So where over here are we looking for shorts is the question, because this was a huge move to the upside. Do I want to delete an alert? No. So look at this over here. This is where last week we got the market started to pump like crazy. Got going all the way over to here. It stalled a little bit. One last push up before the market then squeezed, rallied again, and then maybe you saw, right, had a nice trade on Friday. So this is the sell that makes sense to me now. Right there. Last sweep to the upside before everything drops. So I feel like we can get over here now. All right. So with New York Open, we're seeing an initial kickoff to the upside. We're about 70 points away from getting to here. So that looks pretty good. Dow and S&P are still ripping aggressively. Look at S&P. S&P just took out the highs from last Friday. Fantastic, playing into this imbalance from New Year's Eve. Great. This is we're seeing Dow and NASDAQ slow, right? Slow move to the upside. Not the same kind of intensity that we're seeing S&P and Dow have. So wanting to sell NASDAQ makes the most sense because it's very slow on the way up. All right. So that's looking like a good idea here in the future. Let me quickly go back to oil over here. Oil is about to trigger my sell. It looks like it missed me by, I don't know, a tick, maybe one tick. Ain't that some shit? No way. Actually, I think it hit it. The audacity is crazy. Y'all seeing this? No way. All right, so it just missed me here. Coming right back though. So let's see. I guess if I wanted to, for sure, I could just market execute around here So let me do this. I'm going to market execute half my risk. Wow, this is like really, really volatile. And then let me delete this over here. And now I'm adding another order at half risk where I originally wanted to, if in case it does come back. So if it does come back for me, now I'll be triggered in with my intentional risk, and then we'll go from there. So that was unfortunate. You guys saw how it literally, my entry was, I don't know, what, too perfect? What's that all about, huh? What is this? So, yeah, bogus. All right, so I'm having a whole bunch of alerts go off right now with everywhere. So I'm trying to catch up here. NASDAQ, what are these? Are all like Dow alerts? All right, yeah, so Dow, absolutely insane movement. Trading way, 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 way up here. We actually had shorts here from a while back, so we finally get up into this range. These are sells from, we're talking about the 29th. So we're trading up towards here. This imbalance here that we had from Monday, December 29th. So Dow traded up into this range, which is cool. Like, I'm not looking to sell Dow because Dow is so bullish right now, especially compared to NASDAQ. I don't want to get in front of a Dow, which is like the raging bull. I would rather short NQ. Now, NASDAQ, however, if you look at price action, and NASDAQ already started dropping while Dow is still pushing higher. So what I want to see here is, are these moving away from each other? Are they complete opposites? Are they, on the same page, just with, one being very much more aggressive than the other? So like Dow still pushing higher, and NQ is dropping. So does this set up the market for any ideas here? Like, should we be taking some sort of positions with NASDAQ? So for example, we see a sweep here of liquidity with NQ. The market rallies. NASDAQ trades up here for, 30 minutes or so? So, should we be looking for a buy position on NQ since this up a whole bunch of liquidity and then rallied? Typically, when I see NASDAQ and Dow are just trading like completely opposites from one another, it's not like these trades do work out. So a buy like right here, I only ever take something like this if they are in completely opposite directions. So we're seeing NQ go down and down and down, and we're seeing Dow go up and up and up. I have seen these play out. So if you wanted something like this, could be like a half-hour trade, in my opinion. Let's see if I were to get the idea. Hold on. So right, yeah, here's the zone that we're in, and then this would be a half-hour trade. And I think I wasn't really prepared enough for this idea, so it looks like it's already starting to play out. But you saw the sell-off from right here for about 40 points. And then the market, you guys saw me. I tried to take it, but I was on the wrong platform. I was over here. So whatever. This one got away from me. Anyways, this would be the buy setup. NQ has already mitigated this zone, so that's a wrap. NASDAQ playing out of this area. So if you were fast enough to make that decision, awesome. Otherwise, whatever. If you did take this buy, I would move my stop to break even. So if you took this right off the open into this little imbalance, yeah, I would be very much protective over that. And then now we're looking at price action, and look at this. So now they're kind of moving in unison. NQ dropping a little bit, Dow a little bit, and then our S&P a little bit. Dow still pushing higher. So it looks like they're all going to start pushing upwards together now. Okay. And that still sets up, because this NQ sell is very much, in my opinion, still valid. So going to continue to wait for the market to get up into this area, and honestly just look for shorts right here. So we can get ready for these shorts. I like the sells around 25,737 here. You have equal highs, the liquidity capture, so a bigger picture. You have a big reversal coming here, but then the idea really is in what was happening in the small time frames here. So if we go to the 1 minute over here again, the 1 minute, right, clears the high, drops, and then doesn't come back. So this is where I took a shakeout, but this is a smart money buy before everything drops. So honestly, trading right out of the open, I'm super cool with this. Maybe we tap into the imbalance. So it could be both, right? It could just tap the order block and then drops, or it breaks through into the imbalance and then drops. Really depends on how you want to approach it. I'm going to take my full R, like right out of here. So 25,731. So this is where I prefer my short. Okay. So let's look at it from this place here. 25,731. And the stop is 25,780.5. All right. So something like this. Okay. With that being said, Dow is just cranking up. So check this out. NQ here, pretty suppressed price action, right? It's only going down while Dow keeps rallying. It's just on a mission. So these definitely they're still in opposite directions. This mitigated potentially just this order here. I'd say it's a little riskier if you're going to take, like, let's say this breaks down into this level here, like under this, and then runs. So what happens is a lot of times when you see these trades off the open, sometimes you have the market want to play out of a lower area right here. So the mitigation, this might have rejected this sell, but not this bigger one. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if, and here we go, right? Oh, I totally didn't sell. Oh my, I forgot to cancel this pending order. Huh. Well, I guess I'm in this now. I would have taken this a little lower, but all right, it is what it is. The move is about 40 points, so ideally this runs 40 points up here, minimum. And then I guess if we're gonna take this up, we're gonna take this up. So here we have, thank you so much. The move, look at this, we're starting to reject very strongly already. Very, very aggressive movement. So, all right, cool. 35, 40 points or so. I'm going to tighten up my stop here. No reason to have any extra risk to this. At this point, we saw the mitigation of this order right here. Now we've mitigated this area here as well. So this is a personal preference, and obviously you have data to show you or not. But whether you move your entry straight to your stop to your entry, I like giving myself a little bit to the nearest low or high. That way, if we do want to rebalance and then continue, there's room for that. So yeah, so we got going on right now. This is a half risk entry. I actually wasn't. I was gonna take it lower, so I guess I just didn't. I didn't even realize I still had this open. Whatever, worked out. It was half risk anyways. Worst case scenario now, I take a very tiny loss if this does just push further down. And then with that being said, I think they're starting to go in opposite directions again. So, or they're still going in opposite directions. So look at how Dow and NQ is pushing higher and higher, and Dow is just kind of sitting there, stable. So with the way that the market's moving here, I think we got some nice imbalance fills. So I'm going to actually go ahead now, and I am going to move my stops into profit. Let the market kind of rally from here. Maybe we get up to these levels, and NQ just wants to keep pushing higher, and they kind of catch up to each other, or maybe not. Meanwhile, so I know NQ has been very volatile, choppy, kind of a mess. Not a trade idea that I would imagine everyone can even keep up with, because it's just so quick, different motives, different entry logics. So if you're like, yeah, there's no way I would have taken this, that's fine. Remember, take your game, trade your game, don't chase anything. I think, in my opinion, that's kind of the better approach. With that being said, right now we are seeing a little bit of movement to the downside with oil. I took a half R off of a market execution, since it, like, for whatever reason, it looks like I didn't get chosen to be filled today. It came exactly to the entry at 58.20, but I wasn't one of the chosen ones, so that our orders could be open here. So I did a half R on a lower entry. And then we'll see. Maybe we come up here again. Maybe we take these out. Maybe we just melt from here. So we'll kind of see what happens. If it does take out these highs, then this would trigger in the second half of the risk, which is cool with me. So I'm definitely open to just seeing this through. There might be a chance that this thing wants to go higher, but I guess we'll see. NQ, on the other hand, definitely starting to push. The way in which we drop and quickly rebound does give a bit more direction that the market is still bullish with NASDAQ as well. So this is looking more like there's very little demand here below, if at 25, 625, 570, the market basically comes down, visits, and just, all right, bye, we're gone. So this is better signs that the market is still bullish with NASDAQ. And if we're looking at this compared to Dow, yep, they're back on the same page now. So look at that. Now everything's moving in unison. Everything's moving bullish. With NQ having a more aggressive move to the upside at the moment. Okay. So just here, focusing on trade management. We had the previous pullback here, continuation, a little bit of an imbalance in here. I'm on the 15-second just to give you guys a bit more detail. But this is a healthy pullback in my opinion. So sell stops to here makes sense. Market might want to pull back into here, just tag into here before it rallies, or it just keeps ripping. And then the logic behind this trade is this. So just so you guys see the RR on this idea. If this goes all the way to where I'm looking to sell, basically, then yeah, we're looking at a little under 6R, 5.7R, something like that, if it wants to get there. We're starting to see the pullback into imbalance. Maybe it gets even to here. If it then rebalances here, and then we get another rally, awesome. We get to get a bit more back on the stop profit. So maybe we get something like this. We shall see. If it from here we get higher highs and we maintain those highs, then I might move my stop up to there. Okay, so here we go, getting into that imbalance. All right, so now we're in this zone. Let's see if it holds or not. All right, imbalance. What you gonna do? Oil dumping. A little bit. Starting to push down. All right, so stop profited on that idea. I'm not even mad about it, to be honest, at all. There was obviously Dow was still pushing higher. So if this runs from here, it is going to be slightly upsetting, not going to lie. But I'm not totally, son of a bitch. Really? Is it really going to run now? Crazy. The disrespect. What is it? 0.25 ticks? It came for me? Wow. Ain't that some shit? Crazy. Well, all right. Whatever. So at this point, there's really like I wouldn't pursue this again by any means. If you're maybe, I don't know, reading price action or something like that, and you might see something here, cool. Like maybe you'll have a trade. But pursuing any entries just for the sake of entries, not really my style. You can start to see Dow is starting to drop. Everything is starting to kind of push down together. Dow is starting to pick up a bit more bearish momentum. So let's see what the market looks like, if it's going to keep climbing up or not. But look at how much more aggressively Dow is dropping S&P versus NQ. So, yeah, I'm not going to pursue any new entries here. We don't know for sure if NQ is going to get up to here right away. We don't know if this is going to happen right now. This could just happen later, right? There's a ton of liquidity that got built up. Like all of this is just Asian session liquidity. Tons of retail buyers, all in this range. So for all we know, the market may come back to liquidate first. All right, it's never like we can't just have this thought process that it's guaranteed to get up here. Now, that's where you might start taking positions that don't really fit in your entry model. You're just kind of trading for the sake of making something, or So yeah, I would just be mindful when it comes to really taking any sort of trades. And whether they're based off of actual technical logic, or if you're just looking to, especially with a trade like this, where at least for me, I get triggered, I get stopped in profit by 0.25 points. instantly there's that feeling like of you want revenge, right? You want to make it back. You feel like you've been wronged. And so it's like, let me just get back in. But then that changes your whole risk reward. You had a certain logic behind why you did what you did. So sadly, this is going to cost me. It looks like it's going to cost a bit. We'll see. So despite, those feelings of, let me get back in this, if I didn't have any sort of motive to, any price action logic, it doesn't serve me long term, because then you're building habits on reacting to what you want instead of following what mathematically, like data driven, is going to work. It has probabilities for you. So it is what it is. That's okay. Intuitively, I felt like this was going to go anyways, but we live to trade another day. What we do have going still, and what we're going to look at, is we're going to look at metals here in a second. I want to check back in with oil and kind of see where we're at with everything here. As you guys are seeing here, this became a trade off of basically the open of the move instead. This hasn't fully rejected this area. So, for example, this move here was about 43 points. Right now, we've seen a reversal of... What the hell? For some reason, it doesn't want to do anything. All right, whatever. We've seen a reversal of about like 22 points or so. So, technically, if this were to come back, it would be valid. Like, this would just be valid to trigger more, to trigger me in. So, no stop loss adjustment yet for me. Just kind of let this play out and then see if we're going to reject back over to here. And then depending on what happens here, either it's it could be a buy setup here, considering that we've been holding structure pretty well for the last 2 hours and 15 minutes. Looks like this buy could be pretty solid. So, yeah, we'll keep our eye out on that for now. So that trade for me is running. Let me know, guys, in the chat. Are you guys trading? Are you in oil? Are you waiting for another spike up? Or is it not a good setup for you? Is anyone still trading NASDAQ? Do you guys like the idea for this? Are we kind of like not looking at this? Let me know if what do you guys got going on right now? Survive by 0.25? Sick. Nice. Nas a la verga. Yo. Hey. Oh, that's funny. All right. So looking at this, right, we have ISM news here in, what is it, 5 minutes? Yeah, so we got some news here in a sec. In there, wasn't quick enough. All right, cool. Was I lagging? Just birthed 5 puppies. LOL. Lost the trade, but saved 3 puppies. I think you're good, man. I think karmically you've gained a lot for sure. Muted? Did I get muted or something? All right. We in there? Okay. With more supply on oil, wouldn't that decrease? There's not more supply on oil. That oil has always been there. It's just that U.S. has access to it. That's the U.S. having access. So that's why it's not like the oil wasn't available. It's just that now it can be moved around and it can be refined, especially because the U.S. has the specific refineries in Texas that are basically needed to process all that oil. Yeah, Trade Tinker's super easy. I was going to take a shakeout, sell an NQ, but the RR was cheeks. Okay. Got a 1.5 R NQ. Very nice. Waiting for NASDAQ stops in profit on YM to 1R. What are you trading on YM? In oil and NAS pending. Okay. I like it. Yeah, so I mean, I'm with it here. We're going to wait for shorts here on NASDAQ trading this higher time frame idea. You have news in less than 2 minutes. So we got, maybe the news will get us over to here. Oil here starting to work its way down actually a little bit better. So if the market keeps dropping with oil, then looks like I'll be in with way less than I wanted to. The original entry was 14 contracts right here, which just our entry was, it didn't get filled. I guess we're just too talented guys, unfortunately. I think once the market hits like over here, this would be the full reversal. So this was a nice move up, about 40 something points. So if we keep breaking down to here, then I would delete my pendings and I would adjust my stops. All right, who wants to look at, who thinks we should be taking a look at gold here in a second? Gold and silver. All right, let's take a look at it. Took a long on gold. Nice. Just took your profits at the high. Sick. All right, yeah, let's take a look. So I didn't really have a setup for gold here from earlier. So there's nothing that earlier I could have shared here. So let's take a look at this. Right now, we just got the sweep of the London highs. So we saw the market actually sweep down to here pretty nicely. So gold takes out some of these lows that were created during Asian session, not all of Asian session lows. We do kick things off way, way down over here. So we see a gap up. The market rebalances some of this gap before it continues. So Asian lows are way over here. London session lows do get swept. And then, you know, obviously now we're starting to rally. So is this my favorite price action? Definitely not. Someone said gold near golden zone. What does that mean exactly? Gold is trading towards this last order block before you got a massive sell-off. So there definitely can be reversals around here soon. And you also want to keep in mind, where are we with silver price action, right? These are the correlated assets. So keeping our eyes out on that will make a huge difference. With news hitting here, oil is working its way even further down. So this might be the mitigation. This trade comes with a bit of salt from me, since it just didn't trigger me in how I wanted it to, or how it was, I guess, supposed to. I guess there wasn't enough orders available for us. And Q holding this structure with the news event. We'll get to the dollar news here in a bit, or like the majors. Those are kind of like on the back burner for me personally. But okay, so let's look at the difference between gold and silver right now with current pricing, like real-time price action. Gold is breaking London highs. Silver also already took out London highs earlier. So silver took out London highs at around 8 in the morning Central Time, so 30 minutes before New York Open. Meanwhile, gold took out London highs just now. So silver, in my opinion, is a bit more, is kind of pushing a bit faster overall with current price action. Also, I want you guys to take a look. Silver is trading into December 30th's price action, which is also where it was trading on December 29th. If you look at gold, gold is also trading towards this December 29th price action. So they're both trading towards really kind of the same areas. This is like that 7 a.m. sell-off. Whereas silver, which was like, this is the silver sold out way over here. So silver's a bit more bullish. It's further along in price action than gold is. So looking for that sell for gold in this price action, I think makes sense. So let's dive into this. See if there's a logical setup to take over here. So let's use the replay tool to narrow down price action over here. So here's how things are moving on this day. We had gold on Monday, 29th of December, 2025. Market starts to rally, chop up, work its way higher, chop up again, or it gets one more move to the upside before it starts to just bleed out. So does this give us a textbook capture of liquidity, reversal? Not really. Like, we kind of have some resistance here. We work our way up and then drop. So I wouldn't say we have like textbook trading going on over here. At least where you can tell there's like a massive smart money move. Things start to pick up from here and then reverse. So I think if you wanted to look at it from like a higher time frame, then this would really be it. Things pick up from here and then they sell off. So would this be our a smart money buy in which it liquidates tons of retail sellers and then moves down? No. But what this does do is this incentivizes trading towards the upside. So this lures in buyers and then absolutely just bleeds out. So this isn't my typical trade. This is more like reacting to an order block. This is not a 1R trade for me. It's not a full risk trade for me. So if you're liking, let's say, a sell out of here because of, what you've just seen in the past, resistance, support around here, you have that order block, and you want to take a short here, I understand the logic 100%. I would just say be prepared for what risk you want to have with this idea. And then also on top of that, keep in mind just current price action. So I'm looking at this and I'm seeing gold is very, very bullish right now. Like, these last 5 minutes have been very aggressive to the upside, while silver here is slowed down completely. Silver is chilling, starting to slow down, getting towards this price action, whereas silver does take out these highs here. So let me show you. Silver clears these highs and then starts to work its way down over here. So I kind of see it. I see why metals would reverse out of here. There's like key areas on both, not just gold, but silver is, filling in balance, potentially able to reverse here. So I see it from both sides. Absolutely. So if you're a metals trader, I understand the logic of seeing this thing start to turn around here soon. Say pick your spot. They're not textbook setups for me, but I could see a half hour on trading out of these order blocks. Right now, gold has the most bullish momentum. That could change. So I'd say tread lightly, my friends. I would want to see silver climb up a little bit higher towards this last push up here. But update with oil. This thing started bleeding out, so that's fantastic for us. That means that we can move our stops into profit. Sadly, it's not a full risk trade, which is what I wanted, but whatever. Stops go to break even. So this is very much a lower risk idea. My take profit is now trading this way. So I am going for a 2.6R trade here, trading into this, right into this order block. This will probably trade lower, but yeah, this is the idea right now, up about a 1R on this idea here. So pretty good move. If you guys maybe went full R, then obviously this is looking better for you. Yeah, are you guys, who's up? Who's winning? Who's in profits on oil? Let your boy know. Oh, the fib retracement? Oh, golden zone. That's what you meant. I didn't think you were talking about the Fibonacci. I haven't heard of that actually in so long. The golden zone. Fibonacci, the golden ratio. And you're looking at it, what, considering the 1 hour structure? Here. It's got a bit more to go to get to that. I don't use fibs for entries by any means. They don't really do it. They don't mean anything to me in that regards. If you're in a trade with 2 contracts, how do you close one? You just well, are you in a sell or a buy? If you're in a sell and you have 2 contracts running on a sell, then you could market execute 1 contract on a buy. Or you can set a limit order for a buy limit so it closes your contract. So you just do the opposite of what you're trading. You're in oil, full risk. Let's go. Copying my account. Stops at break even. In oil. Nice. I didn't want to take oil from where we were out. That's cool. I still did. Oh, the break even. Very nice. Good trade management, guys. I love to see it. Beautiful. All right. I'm still keeping in mind this potential gold trade. I would want a better RR if I'm going to take this, though. And I think silver can still push a little bit higher. So I'm going to wait this out a little bit longer for this oil idea. In regards to stop management, since we've now basically exchanged the buy from earlier for this sell-off, I am going to... Where is my stop loss? I think it's hiding underneath here. How do I modify this? I think I'm going to have to do it off of Tradetopia because I can't really see. There we go. All right. Thank you. Nan's hooking it up with the hydration, the coffee, getting me right. Anyone take metals trades yet? Are we holding off? What's the consensus here? I would make a poll, but it's going to take too much time for me right now. What are we up, guys, in here on oil? Right now, I got 16 accounts going, so we're rolling on this trade specifically right now. Let's see. Where would it say, actually? I'm trying to find where it would say that. So, yeah, we got 16 accounts going at the same risk, so 250 times 16, we're talking about like 3,750 or something right now. So not too much RR wise, like barely, you know. I mean, it's something. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful, but this right now is really light, like a little over a 1R. And it's 1R based on this trade, which normally is a half R, right? My typical risk is about 500 per account. So this is running pretty light, but honestly, everything adds up. So I'm not complaining by any means. Gold is not my setup. Won't take it. Beautiful. That's discipline. Wasn't able to get on oil. I have a sell limit in gold at 44.72.5 up here. I like it. I like that. If this were to completely sell off out of here, then I would just delete this. But this is a pretty big move. It's like 275. So this would have to drop actually quite a bit. Could happen. Could happen now. We shall see. I want to see if we see a flip in price action from here. Like what we see sometimes is on the way back up, if that's the case, sometimes we start to see the other asset start to take over. So you might see this start to go to the upside a little bit more aggressively. If that's the case, so let's say silver takes these highs first, then I like the trade for gold a lot better. But okay, we'll come back to this. These ideas on metals, I'm not really in a rush. Let's look at NASDAQ here again. NQ's just been... This trade would have held still. Meanwhile, we have a very choppy Dow that's been kind of holding up, trading sideways. S&P trading sideways. So a lot of consolidation, a lot of liquidity building up with indices still. Okay. The only thing I'm still keeping in mind with NQ is the short from here. And I am very curious if we're going to end up clearing at least the New York lows. I feel like we can get down to New York lows here, the open. At least taking that gives us a 3.87R, probably like a 4R. Can we go for London lows and all of this? It's very much possible, but I don't know if it really needs to happen right away. It'll kind of depend. We'll see what the rest of the price action looks like. I'm definitely going to keep in mind Dow as well. So if we get triggered in with NASDAQ up here we go. So let's say we get triggered in with NQ up here. And if NQ is, dropping with more intensity, then I would want to take this at least to New York Open. And at the same time, consider Dow's movement. So Dow filling a lot of this imbalance, maybe playing into, some of this price action. That would kind of be my target as well. So we'll keep both of these in mind. Sadly, we're no longer in this NQ trade. Let's see. What's the chat saying? I might like some gold buys of the zone that swept some London Asia liquidity. Okay. What platform do you use for copy trading futures? I use TradeSync. Yeah, got TradeSync going. You know what? I don't know if I have like a discount code thing. I know there's like a referral thing that they have. So feel free to use this. You don't have to. I don't really care, to be honest. All affiliate stuff, I always just do, and I always give back in giveaways anyways. But yeah, there's the TradeSync one. You could also, it's cool because they have a free trial, so you can kind of just figure out if it's for you or not. I like TradeSync a lot. So it's been pretty easy to use. Hey, Mike, I had to step away. Just want to know how we would move stop loss to profit on futures if we take a market buy, for example. Would it be a sell stop to however many contracts we entered with? It would be, yeah. So I'll give you the example here, right? So we sold oil. And to manage it, let's say you didn't have whatever. Let's just say that it's just open. What you would do is, since we're in a sell, the trade would cancel if a buy is triggered. So you would set up a buy stop at wherever you would want to get out. So there's a buy stop here. Now, let's say we were in a buy. So, for example, earlier, right, we had a buy here. The market, if we want it to close out, then we would open up a sell stop. So let's say here, I had a sell stop here at 25, 560.75. It triggered my sell stop right there. It went down a quarter of a point, and then it is doing what it's doing right now. So that's how that, yeah. So you want to use a sell stop if you're in a buy. You would want to use a buy stop if you're in a sell. Trade Syncer. It's an app and it's a website. It's a program overall. $1.3R and then it ripped. It happens, man. That's why you want to make sure you have a system. So like, I'm not upset about this trade too much. Is there a little bit of salt? Yes, but it's more like pink Himalayan salt. Like, it's kind of good for me. You know what I'm saying? Because here we go. Honestly, I don't even know why I got tagged out. Oh, it just literally came to the low. But I was just following my personal structure. So this just tagged me here. Like, just tagged it. So I was just following along with structure. I felt like we already had kind of filled this imbalance, so I thought we were okay. We were in the clear. But apparently not. I guess I actually should have gave myself a bit more, since we weren't trading the most bullish asset, so I could have been a little bit more gracious with the stop. But either way, it's fine. But yeah, having I mean, I traded the 1 minute, 5 minute, depending on what asset we're trading. Indices, we have a good probabilities of trading like this. Setups just follow along really well. Currencies, I don't really trade 1 minute at all like that. Oil setups typically are 5, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour setups. And then energy, same thing. It's actually only indices that I trade on the super small time frames. Okay, so what is this looking like? Oil right now is doing one of two things. So with the push down, especially with the news event, we have seen this clear some of this liquidity that was building up as the market was trading higher. Right now is going to be kind of a make or break moment for oil. It's either going to quickly come back up, and then that'll show us that the intention behind this push down was just to liquidate. That's it. And this may turn into a just continuation. This is where things can become a reaccumulation, where the market's only intention was to liquidate buyers, lure in sellers, and then just continue upwards. That's a possibility right now. Aside from that, if we get a rejection from here and price decides to come back down and trade down here, then great. I do believe we'll work our way down to this area. So right now it's kind of going to go either way. We're going to read price action to get a better feel for this. This may end up becoming something I manually exit and just take, whatever we're given. It'll just depend on price action that we get right now. If oil shows some structure, the news might be a new setup. It could be. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you're saying, yeah, I mean, we took out the highs. If the market were to continue to sustain bearish demand, then yeah, we could definitely see something going on there. If oil shows up structure, then can you pinpoint what made you achieve consistency in this business? Sure. So, so for those of you who don't know me, I've been trading since 2015, and I haven't stopped. So it's obsessive from the moment we kick things off. Once there was an actual risk management plan, and this is before prop firms and stuff like that, but once there was a proper risk management plan, that made things a lot easier. I put a lot of pressure on the account for a long time. And then from there, step 2 was getting very systematic with every element of the trading plan. That was part 2. And then part 3, which is probably the most important part, was my ability to continue to detach from what I wanted in the short term. So I had to just allow myself to lose, right? I I had to let go of like monetary goals on the day, because like that's what I heard in the beginning. Like you should make X amount of money every day, X amount of money every week, but that's just not trading. Like it doesn't. You have no control over that. Like you can be a profitable trader and have an unprofitable month, even sometimes even an unprofitable quarter. So it was letting go of that, and then just having a plan, a financial plan with your trading too, not just like random. So yeah, and then once I started to kind of reward myself for good behavior, good trading behavior, not just good outcomes, it made a big difference for sure. Yeah, that was back in like going towards 2018, so end of 2017. And then do I trade full time? Yeah, this makes me a pretty good income. Yeah. Um, we do all right. We do all right. I like the word full-time trader because I don't want to be in front of a screen for 40 hours a week, even though that's probably what happens anyways. But yeah, it makes what a full-time income would make for sure. I guess we'll put it this way, right? The first trading day of the month, we did $32,000. So we're doing all right. A buy limit, sell limit for TP. Yes, exactly. Conscious Cello. Appreciate you, Ill West. Duolingo stock moving nice. Yes. Okay, so it's looking like oil is exactly what we talked about. It looks like this was more of a liquidity capture, and then now the market's just coming right back in. So unless this aggressively moves down, more than likely this trade is going to just break even higher. So I do want to give it enough space to just at least kind of, let's say, prove itself, see if it's going to reject or not. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more money to make it worth my time here. So we'll go from here, and then either this kind of aggressively comes back, or then, yeah, this is just going to be a wrap. NQ, we're still like 70 points out from where I would want an entry. So we'll leave that be. Do I advise prop firms for a beginner trader? Yes. If you already have been, so one, obviously demo, like use a demo, get all of the mistakes you can possibly get out of your system, like as much as you could. So, for example, like while we're waiting here, I'll just go camera on here. We'll be fine. Actually, we'll just keep it here. But yeah, so make all the mistakes you can, when figuring out what works for you, what entries work better, what stop placements work better for you, take profits, whether you're a variable risk trader, whether you're a 1-to-1 trader, 2R trader. My take profits are based off of what the market's showing me. So I'm not like a fixed, it's not just going to be a 2R or a 1R every time. For me, it's just 100% based on what the market's showing me. I don't believe there's a perfect way to trade. It's what you can do best. I know millionaire traders that trade 1R, 1.5R. I don't do that, right? I trade 2R, sometimes 7R, sometimes 4R, just whatever the market's showing. So, but that's because I understand the market in my own way that has given me an edge in that way. And that's cool with me. So I'd say, yeah, make as many mistakes as you can for free. Once you are feeling pretty confident with your system, then yeah, go the prop firm route. But don't throw all your prop firm payouts back into prop firms. Keep some of that. Start funding yourself. Get yourself out of debt if you have any. Build a plan. There's in our community, if you guys aren't in there, in the description, you see the link to that. But in the community, we have tons of videos that walk you through how to like become a full-time trader and stuff like that, No, I don't do fixed risk reward. But I think if you want to build discipline with yourself, having a fixed risk reward, like having a, let's say, 2R take profit when you're starting out, I think that's great because you'll just start to see yourself win more often. You'll start to build the discipline of getting out exactly when you're supposed to. And then I feel like from there you can graduate to a variable reward. So where sometimes it's more or less reward based off of what you're seeing in the market. So it's like you kind of earn your stripes and then it becomes something that's data driven anyways. All right, so let's see if, oil is just going to violently reject here and go all the way down. Which prop firm? It depends on if you're trading CFDs or if you're trading futures. For futures, my go-tos right now are Tradetopia, LucidTrading, TopOne, and TopStep. TopStep was basically the number one for me for most of the last couple of years. They've had some issues with their platform like 2 weeks ago for a couple weeks. Seems like they kind of smoothed things over. So, things are looking pretty good again. If you want some discount links, there's one in my description with Tradetopia personally. That's like where I have 750K there. Payouts there are fast. I think payouts were like 15 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, payouts are super quick. Come on, oil, be a good boy. All right, let's look at, so NQ is coming together. Let's look at some majors in the meantime. I know some of you were asking about, I think the pound, I think that's what I saw in the chat a couple times. So we can dive into this here for a sec. Okay. So I had this marked up here. So let's zoom out a bit. We have been in a bullish structure with pound. So higher highs, higher lows, higher highs are maintaining demand, good structure. We pulled back into this imbalance over here before we started to rally again. Interesting, though, is every time we look to go above a previous high, the demand is really weak. So we come up, we lose it, come back down. Price breaks above, loses the momentum, crashes back down. So we're kind of seeing it over and over and over again. Could be the same thing again here. We saw a nice push to the upside, captures liquidity, and then everything crashes. We haven't come back to close this buy order. So I am open to selling here. However, before I make a decision on this, I do compare dollar, the other dollar pairs as well. So I want to look at the euro, Australian, New Zealand, the yen, everything here real quick. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. But this looks good. And then, we just saw a big spike down before the rally as well. So could there be a buy as well? Let's see. So the short would be over here. We've seen a lot of resistance, 1.3517, 1.3520, kind of like right around here. We got a good amount. So looking for a short specifically right around here. I could like this. I want to verify this with by looking at the other dollar pairs. So, I'll take a look at that as well. But this would be a potential play off the rip. Now let's go into the smaller time frame and see what this move looks like. So we got very aggressive push down here earlier, massive pullback, rebalances everything quickly, and then immediately comes right back up. So definitely could have a buy scenario over here in this imbalance. You've seen a lot of reversals over here before, like 1.3437. So same thing. If you have, let's say, take profit. What happened? Oh, did I get tagged out? Stop profit. Let's see. Oh, I did. 2 contracts or 3 got closed. Looks like it just tagged me out on 3 of the 5 contracts. So the orders got filled there for a humble little TP, little stop profit. It looks like it's going to take me out completely. But yeah, this is now kind of turning around, so this could just lead to another move. Okay, cool. So anyways, with this, yeah, this buy, depending on how we work our way back, this could be a good play here. So we'll keep both in mind. I'll have alerts set here as well. Now, since this has got some momentum, let's see what else is going on. So the yen, this was, I believe it was around the same timing. So the yen clears the highs over here. This is Tuesday, December 30th, London session. So it takes the highs. You see liquidity gets swept. It starts crashing down, maintaining great structure. The yen is not going up the same way that the pound is. The pound has a lot more momentum. Way more momentum. So the sell on it looks way better with the yen than it does with the pound. And how can you tell, right? So what I do is I use the fib tool to see, okay, well, how deep is the retracement so far? We're seeing the pound go towards that 786. So it's getting close. Whereas the yen hasn't retraced anywhere near that. This is closer to like a 38.2 right now. 50% pullback. So 50% pullback, whereas the pound is trading way up here already. So yeah, definitely prefer sells with the yen. And then we can mark this up over here. So, and really anywhere over here, off like right around the open, honestly, is probably a good idea. So something like this looks solid. A lot of strong resistance over here. So take profit to this right around this range. You got like a 3R going on over here. Looks good in my opinion. So I would definitely prefer the yen over anything else. I just realized I didn't even give you guys a heads up on in the community. I don't even think I posted that we were live. Y'all just knew. So here I can go over some ideas. Let's share. So this one's the yen I want to have on here. January 5th, 2025. So we got this here. So we have 6J, the yen. I'll have it linked here too. And then I like the buy better for a pound. It's moving way more bullish. So I'd rather buy instead of sell with this one. And then we'll see kind of how we work our way down. It'll really depend on that. It'll depend on what we have going on there. But we'll just keep it like this for now. All right, so here is the pound. 6B. GBP. Got that. Got that there. All right, so this is posted. I'm going to keep adding more to this as well. If you guys are new here, this is in the free community. What do you think of that trend liquidity for buy on pound, Mike? Here? Well, we'll kind of see how we go from here, right? Because you do have a good point. But if it takes a while, it might break the trend later. It might break through somewhere and then activate the setup, maybe lower actually. So we'll see. But we'll definitely keep an eye on for that. And then if you're looking at this from a different perspective, like CAD is bullish, but definitely not as bullish as pound. Euro is bullish, but definitely not as bullish as the pound. And Euro honestly keeps giving sell setups. So we have a lot of liquidity with Euro, but Euro keeps just pumping and then dumping. So we got that here as well. So like I said, I'm just keeping my eyes out on the overall, the dollar pairs, and just see kind of how they're all lining up together. So this Euro setup here, we could see this had some resistance over here. You had some liquidity building up. So retail sellers are right there. Friday, 9:30, pushes up, immediately works its way down. So we might have something cooking up for a short in this imbalance. We'll just see how the rest of the pairs are moving in unison. Now, okay, so check this out. All right, this is a little different. NZD, super bullish. Super, super, super bullish. This cleared out Friday's highs, New York highs. It's trading way up here. So compared to the pound hasn't actually gotten above those highs yet, whereas NZD already did. NZD already cleared this. So I would argue that NZD is more bullish at the moment than even pound. So that would then give that trend line that you were talking about, it might actually clear that. So we might have a better trade with NZD than we even do with the pound. Sweeps this liquidity, stays within this zone, and then just rips here. So let's keep an eye on this idea too. So the pound might be the buy. It could be NZD. And so I'm going to like a trade here for now. And then we'll ride this out to like at least right here, if not more. So we'll keep an eye on this. Let's see how price plays out the rest of the day, if we are going to stay bullish, or what's really going to happen here. So all right, here's NZD. So 6N. NZD USD for my CFD traders here. And then I'm going to split these up. For USD, for buy setups, looking to trade the lagger, aka the setup that gets to our buy zone last. Highest probability of maintaining structure. So that's NZD. AUD might even be better too. So I don't know. AUD here, close. So that short from last week was nice, especially if you could hold overnight. For those of you trading live accounts or CFD props, it's traded really well. But let's see. Australian too. I mean, it has a very nice sweep down. This is rallying, so they're all very similar right now. Australian, NZD, pound, they're looking very, very, very similar. Let's keep an eye on all of these. We'll have a better understanding, better decision making a little bit later on. Like once this starts to settle, it'll be a lot easier to kind of see the play with these. So for now, I'm not making like predetermined decisions. I'm just aware. Here are the scenarios. Basically is how I'm looking at this. Here are the scenarios. Oh, my bad. All right, so those are all there. And I think that covers it for the majors right now. Yeah, GG. All right, metals. So gold's kept working its way down. Looks like it respected that area. It hasn't. It's almost all the way fully, rejected this move. So this was, I'm expecting about 275 down. It hasn't quite done that, but it's gotten close. So gold pushing down. Silver definitely not as bearish. Look at how silver is holding price action pretty well here. It's squeezing. So either it breaks down, it pushes lower, another liquidity sweep, and then that kind of finishes up this move for gold, or this takes out the highs, that brings gold up one more time, and that could set up the gold sell that we're kind of potentially looking to take here. Oil back at entry, you think only played out of the order block or the 15-minute, not the full actual institution buy that stopped everyone out? Let's see. That's a good question. So, man, Bitcoin's on a mission right now. Oh, someone asked me about dog earlier. Yeah, it's nice. It's up like 50% in the last couple days, which is sweet. So, all right, oil back around this area, up towards where we wanted to originally take the trade. So he asked us, did we play out of the order block or did we trade the mitigation completely? All right, that's what you're asking here. Honestly, since we already captured a whole bunch of, if this kind of swept a lot of liquidity, so that kind of takes out that incentive, but there's still imbalance and, trading into here. So it does look like we rejected this move at least, if not this whole push. If you're going to get another trade, I would say that you might get it above this. So if there's ever a trade you wanted to take because you're like, well, what if it rejected this push instead of this one? Then I'd say look for an entry above 58.39. I'm not 100%, to be honest. Typically, there's just a little order block. It doesn't rebalance this way. This already filled an imbalance pretty well. So I feel like this is already efficient. But I could see both happening. I wouldn't take a full risk on this. But if you want to do something light, it's a very tight trade anyways. So this would pay you out pretty well. So we'll set an alert there. We'll see what happens. As you guys probably just saw, silver alert went off. So that means that I think it took out the highs. Yeah. So look at this. Now silver price action is more bullish. Silver is just broke above this price action. And gold is kind of running behind here. So if gold either sells that from here now and it wants to just keep going now that silver took out the highs, or wait for a better risk reward, and then maybe you get a trade up here. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I can see the oil potentially give you that short, especially because there's a good amount of resistance right here. So yeah, I can see this trade for sure, man. I see it. This might have mitigated here. You have a lot of resistance before the liquidity capture. So trading out of here definitely has potential. I'm open to it. I'll do a half hour. And then, funny, look, this would actually be more contracts than if a full R that I originally had planned because the stop is a lot smaller. So that's looking good. Gold may or may not sell from here. And then NQ, which is what we've been waiting for since the very beginning, which the trade is up here. So I'll go ahead and I'll share the NASDAQ idea too. All right, so NQ idea. This one's going to go to the top. NQ. All right, y'all. Save that. Pin that. Sick. All right. So with that being said, tomorrow you do have Australian CPI, so be ready for that. We'll see what happens there. We have Wednesday we have 2 news events, really 3 with New York Open. So you have ADP non-farm employment change, and then ISM services. So this is going to be fun. There's a good chance I go live early on Wednesday for this, but for sure we have unemployment claims and then NFP. So yeah, I'll be live early on Friday for sure. Thursday, probably not Wednesday. So I'd say Thursday and Friday we'll have earlier sessions. I'll schedule them right here, right now, so that you guys are ready to roll with this as well. Good turnout today. Like, again, a lot of y'all showed up today. So I don't know if it's a New Year's. You're like, you know what? Let me give trading a shot again. And yes, you are right. You should. You should. All right. Stay locked in with this. Just, manage your expectations. Approach this like a professional. Things will come together. So we'll be live again tomorrow at the same time, 8 a.m. Central, 30 minutes before New York Open. Don't miss out on that. It's, I do everything live so that you guys can see exactly what to do step by step. Obviously, learning at your own pace, there's pros and cons to that. And then for those of you that want to accelerate your process and you really want to become someone who's just, I guess I would say, if you want to accelerate everything with trading and you want to have a very close proximity with me, get feedback basically every single day, just be dialed in, then I do encourage you to join our 1-year program, which is for traders that are already doing this. Like, you're not figuring out if this is real or, this is for you and you want to turn trading into a viable income stream this year, then check it out, right? Check out, there's the link. I'll pin this link. Learn more about our 1-year program. I don't do monthly. I don't do subscriptions because I feel like I'd rather just do all this for free and give you guys a chance to figure it out yourselves here and all the free stuff that we have. And then for those of you that care about your time a bit more and you want to just really be with a high level group, then obviously that's what this is for. NQ is a sell, correct? Yeah. So, yep, there it is, guys. If you want to make your 2026 very different than, I guess, the rest of your years and the rest of your life, feel free to join us. I just took this oil setup here. So let's see if we get a reversal out of here. This is a half-hour trade for me. And then this is with the idea that we did trade this order block that the market wants to reject these levels of resistance and then still mitigate from up here. So we'll see what happens. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. We will see you tomorrow. Stream is going to be here. This should just send you straight to tomorrow's stream. So make sure you guys are subscribed. You guys like the stuff and do all the stuff, all the YouTube stuff. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Much love, fam. Catch you guys on the next one tomorrow. Peace.